Okay. I think I got it. Hello. Welcome to, you know what? I forgot what I was going to say.
You said you were going to say welcome to the
Oh,
podcast. Say the
yeah.
podcast name.
Okay. Hi, welcome to the Sunrise Podcast. I'm your host, Reagan Portis, and our co-host,
MJ, YouTube Nolan MJ. Today we will be talking about social issues and that's it. Okay, so Reagan, would you like to start us off?
All right, so school has been going on for about a month now. I'm homeschooled, so I got a different school experience. But how's school been going for you?
It's been pretty good. I'm not really at school since I'm a senior, but from my experience, school is pretty good social, but there can be a lot of bullying and stuff going on. If you with your friends and stuff, you got to make sure you have the right friend group and stuff as you go through school and stuff like that. But public school is not that bad. But you can't have issues if you don't have like friends, because some people struggle in school because there's a lot of bullying and stuff like that.
See, I never really you see the bullying in the TVs and stuff, like in the shows, but I never thought like it was actually like that. Actually, like I knew bullying happened in real life, but I don't. It does it happen like in the shows, or is it a different type of bullying?
I feel like it's different. Like you can have like now since we got social media, you can be socially bullied and stuff like that, cyberbullied. Yeah. But it's not really like the TV, like with the swirlies. I ain't never seen nothing like that. But people will try to like mess around and bully you and stuff like that, pushing it, like calling names and stuff like that. It's not as crazy as the TVs portray it to be.
Oh, so like what type of bullies? What type of things do people go through like that other people can that they do to other folks like bullying and stuff?
I'll say like they'll try to get kids to do that work for them, and then they don't do that. Like stuff like that happens.
They do
Yeah,
that?
yes. Like they'll get kids to do the work for them, or they'll like try to do something in them and like embarrass them in front of everybody and stuff like that.
Oh, see, being homeschooled, like we have different curriculums, so you can't really get nobody to do your homework for you, and you don't see people enough to like bully people. Like it's a community, everybody know everybody, but at the same time, I'm in a whole different curriculum than my friend is. So if I'm in different classes and stuff, so she can't do my work for me. I thought like they do it in the class, like people who are in their class, they just tell them to do their work. Like,
Yeah, they'll get them to do their work and stuff like that.
they don't pay them?
I mean, some people do, but not all people. Some of them like they probably hold something over them. They probably got like some like try to blackmail them or something for it. What social issues you would say you have with like the different like when like going out in public and stuff like that, and making friends since you're homeschooled?
Out. See, the community basically different because everybody trying to make friends. So like everybody gonna be nice. I mean, obviously, when you get to know people, you can kind of tell who you gonna be friends with and who you not. Like, we got different communities. So you got the sports community, you got the chess community, you got the art community, and whatever community you in, basically, that's who you gonna resonate with. I'm more in the sports community side of things. So most of my friends, they do basketball. We do track together, and most everybody nice. I don't really deal with no type of bullying and judgment and stuff like that because everybody trying to make friends, everybody trying to have a good time because we are homeschooled, so we don't really have like I do see my friends constantly because we do a lot of activities together. So I'm seeing my friends probably like 2 or 3 times a week, but that's not enough to like get bullied or something. And we're all pretty like chill, so anybody and everybody can become friends with everybody. I don't think there's much bullying within the homeschool community because there's just not. Most of my friends, we're gonna graduate early. We try to do all that. We're not really focused on the 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 messy side of things for the most part.
I feel like most bullying comes from like people that had like their past experiences and like taking stuff out on others because they might be jealous of somebody, or they most of the time it's like jealousy thing, or they don't like what other people are doing.
Right.
It makes them do that, like something going on at home. Because I know some people like they'll have something going on at home and then they'll try to take it out on others and stuff like that. So I think that's where bullying comes from a little bit too.
See, I just like if if you going through something at home, I don't see how people bring that to other folks. Like, I just don't see how people will take their anger out of somebody else because something going on at home. I don't really understand how people feel comfortable with bullying. Like, how you sleep at night. Like, how does that work?
I feel like some people, they don't have somebody to go to because like maybe their parents is not like playing a key role in their life. Maybe their parents not playing a key role in their life, or like they don't have like a therapist and people to talk to, so
But
they'll
they
try
could
to
talk
take it out on
more.
other. Yeah, like a therapist. Some people have therapists to talk to about their situations. Not a lot of people have that.
Yeah. But I thought, like, y'all ain't got no school counselors or none. They
Oh yeah, we
don't.
got school counsel, but I mean, some people, I have seen somebody go talk to the school counselor about their problem.
They,
They'll try to like remove them from the class, but like you gonna still see them around school, so
right,
it's still a possible chance that they're still gonna bother you.
right. See, we ain't got all that. Like, some people take classes together, but we don't have all that, like, counselors and stuff. It's pretty much you kind of on your own.
Would you say being homeschooled like keeps you more distance from people, or like when you like go out in public, like are you like the more talkative person, or like would you say you're more introverted or extroverted?
I think homeschool, it just depends on what type of person you are. If if you're an extrovert, you'll definitely make friends, and there's plenty of activities to go and do. Like, I'm pretty much gone every week doing something, but I don't like people like that. So I might I'll be like, cause I was supposed to go somewhere this week, but I said I didn't want to go because I really didn't feel like going. So it just depends on what type of person you are. Like, if you're an extrovert, you gonna make friends and you gonna have friend groups and stuff. It's gonna be just like you in school, just without the 8 hours. But if you the type of person that don't like a lot of people and you kind of see yourself, you'll be by yourself. There, it's hard to explain because, well, it's not. If you can sign up for different activities and stuff. So if you don't sign up for them activities, yeah, you're gonna be by yourself for the most part. So, but if you signed up for activities, you're gonna be around a lot of different people. Like for track, we were around like a bunch of people. We were around different private schools, some public schools. And so it just depends. If you try to do something, you're going to be seeing different people, whether you like it or not. But if you don't know that there's stuff to do, you're gonna just be stuck at home by yourself, basically.
Would you saying stuff about track? Track for me, I mean it's kind of the same. I'm around a lot of my teammates, so I got to make a good bond with them and make a lot of friends in track, stuff like that. So it's really not really a big difference, I don't think, between sports and stuff.
I play club volleyball, and that never helped my social skills because if you weren't in a certain like clique, you're not finna like nobody finna talk to you. Like, you're not finna be in a friend group. You'll build by yourself. It just takes a certain group of people and a certain group of nice people, because it could be the same way in a track team, especially with track being such an individual sport. Of course, you're gonna practice with a team, but most of your events, you probably gonna be by yourself unless you have somebody in your
Relay.
relay. So to me, track, it wasn't harder to make friends. It was easier to make friends, but it can be harder to make friends in track, with it being such an individual sport.
I mean, I guess since like I see them every day, and then like I think we practice every day, so like I got to make that bond with them, get closer to them. Cause I talk to them in school and outside of school, cause we have like a track group and like remind and stuff like that. And I also like hang out with some of my friends outside of school that do track and stuff like that. So I feel like that bond that made us come closer since I see them in school and outside of school,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, I think the only days I didn't see my track team was no, we did do Wednesdays. We did probably like 6 days a week when we really got going. And we were traveling together, going places. So, yeah, you did that. Sports is a great way to make friends and stuff, I think, because especially if you, like, when you go to nationals and stuff, that'd be mad fun because you get to go different places, see different things with different people. And then you with them, like, almost 24/7 because the track meets are long.
Oh
You
my,
there
yes, they are.
all day long. So if you ain't got nobody to talk, there's no way you ain't got nobody to talk to if you there all day long. Like from sun up to sundown, you're there all day long.
Yeah, those need to be like 8 hour, 12 hour. I remember one time, when we was in Texas, I had like club track in Texas. That was like crazy because I was there for hours. It was so hot out there and stuff like that.
And they
But I
get
had people to talk to luckily because I made friends with them from the clubs and like practices and stuff like that.
right.
So they wasn't
I
that
remember
bad.
we was at nationals. We was there till like what 9 o'clock. We was there till like 9 o'clock, sitting in the field because they was backed up. All our events were backed up. And I just remember we was just in the field having a good time, and we watched the 4x4. We was having a bunch of fun. I just, if you having a hard time, I would definitely say sports is the way to go to make some friends. Well, now we're going into our guest segment, and today I'm going to be introducing Dr. Raymond Portis, a pulmonologist, outdoor enthusiast, and my father. So, Dr. Raymond Portis, can you tell our listeners a bit more about yourself and your background as a doctor and outdoor enthusiast?
Hey, how y'all doing out there? Ray Porter's here. I'm a native of Jackson, Mississippi. Education-wise, I did all of my education here in Jackson. Graduate of high school at Callaway High School. Then from there, I went to Tuskegee University, then Jackson State University for environmental science, where I left there and pursued a career in medicine. I entered Meharry Medical College, and then I came back home to UMMC where I did internal medicine and pulmonology. Background as an enthusiast of outdoorsmen, I grew up, I spent a lot of time with my grandfather in we would call it Terry or Utica, Mississippi. Out there I learned how to use a shotgun and fish in local ponds, etc. On my summers where I spent with him. And that really gave me the introduction into what later became an outdoor enthusiast in my latter years.
What initially sparked your interest for outdoor activities and hunting and fishing?
I've always been interested in hunting and fishing. Like I said, my grandfather introduced me into that. My uncle Charles in Monticello as well. He had a little bit to do with giving me access to different places to explore the woods. I would say that after I finished Meharry Medical College and came back home, I found that the friends that I left were still doing the same things that they were doing when I left, which forced me into a avenue that I could pursue that could offer me other things to do with my spare time. Given the fact that I became a doctor, it afforded me the opportunity to take it to the next level with things like boats and, high quality rifles and equipment to become a successful hunter and fisher.
When you embarked on your journey to becoming a doctor, like what helped you stay focused on that journey?
That's a good question, and it's very interesting. When I embarked on the journey to enter the medical field, I was very ill-equipped and I was ill-prepared. However, between my mother and aunt, they were very diligent in helping me to pursue my dreams. And all in all, that push was something that gave me the strength to do it because I did not want to fail in the face of my family. I ended up going to medical school for free without a scholarship, which means someone decided to put $150,000 in my pocket. And the one thing I will say is, if you truly understand the value of a dollar, that's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
And it's not something that you play with. And once that happens, the rubber meets the road. So I was determined to do whatever I had to do to get out of there and be successful.
So, how do you manage to balance your demanding career with your hobbies and the things that you
Okay.
like to?
So that's a great question because I work a lot. And the one thing that I will say is when I go out to do anything, I'm going to give it 210%. So to make up for the time that I am giving to my patients, giving to the various hospitals that I go to, I spare no expense to go to the highest level when it comes to hunting, fishing, etc. If there's some technology out there that can enhance what I do, I'm going to be the first one to obtain it no matter what. And I enjoy learning it, I enjoy practicing with it, and I enjoy becoming better and setting goals for myself. And the one thing I can tell anybody listening is that the way to get through medical school is not to compare yourself to the person sitting next to you. It's not to compare yourself to the person that is doing 100%. It's to personally set goals and continue to beat them and to make yourself better, because at the end of the day, you know, you can't compete with a genius. You can't compete with someone that has a photographic memory. You can only compete with yourself. As long as you're competing with yourself and making sure you're getting better, you'll always succeed.
So, what's your favorite piece of equipment that you own for your outdoor activities?
Well, it depends on which activity.
Or let's say hunting.
So, for hunting, I have a special rifle. It's called a Creedmoor 6.5. It's a long range rifle that can reach targets up to a mile. It's actually somewhat of a military edition. I put a scope on it that can basically see in the dark and illuminate the radicals so that I can be deadly even during low light hours. I love to play with the scope to make it near and far, and I have to say that I've killed a lot of great animals with it.
Well, can you share one of your favorite favorite memories with hunting or fishing that you've experienced?
Right. I would say that my most favorite hunting slash fishing experience to date would be my alligator hunt in 2020 in Vidalia. Me and a guy who had never gone before, and to be honest, this would be my first gator. We pack our two kids up after hooking up a AC unit the night prior, and we embark on a journey in a buddy of mine's boat named Jason McKissack, who couldn't go because he had gotten exposed to COVID and decided to take his wife to the beach. But he let me borrow his boat. We drive down to Vidalia, Louisiana with two kids that were barely teenagers at the time. And around 10 p.m., I hook into an 11-foot gator. And it took me, him, and the two children to wrestle this beast in by 2 a.m. We met a lot of local people, took a lot of pictures, and it pretty much was something that was memorable because the children were there, we were there, and it was a pretty awesome adventure and conquest.
So what advice would you give to somebody who's like beginning hunting and fishing? Like, what would you say?
I would say set personal goals, spare no expense. The one thing I can say going in is when I got in, I bought a lot of cheap equipment that I eventually threw away. because I felt like I wasn't going to need that. There are going to be several tiers of rifles, several tiers of reels and rods, several tiers of scopes. And the one thing I would say is never go cheap, because some of the most disappointing times in the beginning was when I was out there and exactly what I came look for came out and I couldn't see it. Or I hooked it and I couldn't catch it. You know, it'll happen. And so spend your money, do your research, and don't go cheap.
So what would you say the best beginner equipment is? Or like,
It just depends. If you're hunting and you're going to get a rifle, understand that you're going to spend twice as much on the scope as the rifle is worth. The rifle is no good if you don't have a piece of glass that can focus you in quickly on your target. Sometimes you may have 1 minute, 10 seconds to fire off a shot. And if you're sitting there doing this, you're never gonna connect with your target. And so these items that you do your research on will show you how to focus and pick up a wide area so that you're not searching and searching and searching, and then by the time you look up, your target's gone. When it comes to fishing, there's gear ratios, there's plastic gears, there's metal gears. You know, you really want to get something with a metal gear so it doesn't break while you're on a big fish. The trick is most rod and reel combos you're going to get from Walmart or even Bass Pro that are on the cheap level, they're made with cheap parts. And so if your goal is to eventually be good at it and to catch large fish, then you need equipment that can handle multiple large catches.
So, what would be the best place for a beginner to go and practice these?
The best place by far is a private lake. And if you have access or know someone has access, that's the best place to practice, because the fish don't have a lot of pressure. The reason why my children don't like to do it is because we're usually fishing on public waters that are highly pressured. And the fish have seen just about everything you could throw at them. So it takes a very skilled and specialized individual to make you productive on public waters. But if you have access to any of the private lakes or ponds, these fish are not heavily pressured, so they're more apt to bite. So it's easier to get used to catching and hook setting and homing in your skills in private waters. Unfortunately, those are very few and far in between to get access to, especially for African Americans.
do you have any like special technique to like catch an alligator or a fish that you do?
Well, the thing about the alligator hunting is you need someone that can hook an alligator. You have to throw the hook over his back and then hook him. And so if you're not a fisherman, you don't have that kind of accuracy. So I'm invited on most hunts because I can throw a pole or a rod and I can hit within about 4 inches of the target. And so where I'm good at, or what my use is, to hook the animal and hold on to it till we can get a bigger hook in it. So my whole job is to spot the animal and hook it. After that, I need somebody to put the other hooks in them so we can pull them up. And so that's what makes me deadly at alligator hunting, because I can throw that pole, I can throw that hook and hook that animal. The same thing goes for fishing. I think I played baseball growing up, and it makes me very accurate at placing the bait and learning to flip the bait or overcast the bait, just because baseball is a similar thing where you're using your arms and your hand and eye coordination. And that's what makes me good at that, because of playing baseball. You know, anything that increases your reflexes and your fast twitch muscles make you a little bit more accurate than the next person when it comes to the fine tuning of fishing. Because you have to get that bait within usually 4 inches of the fish's mouth to get him to take it. And so you're targeting areas where the fish, you think the fish are, or you are looking at them with your electronics, and then you're targeting them and trying to drop that bait right in front of their face. Otherwise, the fish will never see it. And so, to be honest, sports probably helped me more than anything in being good at that. And it always helps to have a good rod and reel.
Okay, so our final questions, one of mine is, what would you say to what advice would you give to a medical student or an aspiring doctor?
Great question. The one piece of advice I would give to an aspiring doctor or a medical student is, compete only with yourself. It's very overwhelming. The field, the training is very demanding and overwhelming. And if you set personalized goals, personal goals, you will do your best. The problem is if you compete and try to overdo some of the people that you will find there, you will find that there are some people in medical school that have the answers to the test. You'll find that some people in medical school, their school has clearly prepared them with all of the tools that they need to succeed. It doesn't make them a better doctor. You set the tone for your practice, the people that you're going to help, and they will love you as long as you show compassion and you give them time. I would say that any field in medicine or dealing with medicine is always going to be a great place to park yourself. You have the job opportunities all over the country, whether you're a nurse, nurse practitioner, physician, MD. One of the things that I always hark on is that during the pandemic, there was always work for everybody in the medical field, and with any job you choose, it's best to choose a job that doesn't fluctuate with the economy and pandemics, etc. You have that stability to always be productive and make a good living despite what's going on in the world. If you think about it, despite everything going on in the world, people are sick and they're going to the hospital, which means that's my world and I'm always working.
Well, before we wrap up, is there anything else you want our viewers or listeners to know?
I just want everybody to know that open up your mind to different things. I hate to say but business deals are made on golf courses and on the back of yachts, very seldom on basketball courts. If things seem hard, that's because they pay off 10 times more in the end. Mm-hmm. Easy routes often fluctuate with presidencies, government changes and shifts. You should focus on looking towards your elders for advice, even though it may seem not to be the thing that you really want, but look at what your parents are doing, and if that's something that you feel like the things that they're offering you and they have you exposed to in all the beautiful things you have at home are the things that you want, then I would not digress from that work ethic. I would actually try to take it further and contribute to it. And that may cause you to go into a field that you feel like it's not the easiest thing or the thing that jives with you, but to take your family forward is to go into the future. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You really don't. If there's a wheel, just make it better. Focus your time and energy on that and not necessarily going too far from it, unless that's just your calling. I mean, sometimes it's your calling. Your calling is your calling, and you'll know it when you do it. But just take from your parents and make sure that you're going forward and not backwards. Listen to them.
So what are your social medias where the people can find you?
So I'm on Facebook. I'm pretty friendly. I only post pictures of my conquests. And then there's a YouTube channel that I have with some of my fishing clips. Raymond Porter's YouTube. And there'll be more downloads to come. I just had a pretty good excursion with Go Long Charters. And I'm currently going through the footage of the tuna trip with the red snapper, etc. Unfortunately, the 10-foot alligator on Ross Barnett won't be there, but we do have pictures.
Oh, so we have a question from the audience. How do you foresee AI affecting your career as a doctor? Do you think it will help or that cause it to, would it be a helpful thing to have AI or
negative?
will it, I forget the word.
Would it be a positive thing or a negative thing
Yes.
for you?
So for me, I'm in a position to where AI is not going to replace or affect me per se. The one thing that I can say where it will be useful if the state of, I'll just use the state of Mississippi as an example. We have so many hospitals closing that in some of these rural hospitals, I can see an artificial intelligence running an emergency room with a skeletonized faculty. Yes. Some of these hospitals that are closing because of the monetary restrictions on Medicare and Medicaid will need some form of personnel to help those individuals in those underserved areas, which is mostly where this is happening. And I can see that as a useful tool to get people help, or at least to triage them and get them to the place where they need to be if we don't change.
Well, thank you so much for coming on our podcast. I know you're very busy, so thank you for giving the time to come out and educate people about what you do and everything that, and basically telling everybody that anybody could start. You could start anywhere.
You can start anywhere. You can do anything. You just have to be willing to sacrifice. Thanks for having me.
Indeed. Well, that is the end of our first episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Go follow my co-host at his socials.
No Limit MJ
Also,
on YouTube. And Instagram is MJ the Don.
and just make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It means the world. Just make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It means the world to us. And just thank you for joining us on our first podcast.